Libra, welcome to your end of July 2018 tarot update. It's Raina here, doing a little shuffling, but I'm also putting these in little piles. That's how I do. And this is the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. Love the illustrations. Oh, I love them. They're pen and ink, and some of them are black and white, but some of them have color, which is really cool. And I really like it. Oh, there was a reversed card in the deck, after all. I've been getting like reversed cards lately, but sometimes I'm turning the deck upside down. Here's Speak of the Devil. What if I had drawn the devil? That would have been funny. Okay, so we have all the cards laid out. I'm just tidying up around here. So the heart of the matter for this last half of the month is the Nine of Cups. You know, even something like this, pen and ink drawing, I love the simplicity of it, but there's like subtle, like little red hues on top there. So the Nine of Cups is a card of wish fulfillment. In this particular deck, it's almost this, I mean, they've got the moon there. There's like kind of a mysterious vibe to it. I don't know why they depict it that way, because the Nine of Cups is, if you've seen the Rider-Waite Pamela Coleman version, shows this guy and he's just all laughing, you know, eat, drink, for tomorrow you may die type of a guy. And just like, you know, has no cares in the world because he's celebrating all that he's gained, you know, wish fulfillment. And they even say that there's a touch of him being like gloating over his good fortune. And this one is very kind of muted a lot, which the Nine of Cups can be a card of excess even, because I believe because the number 9 connects with Jupiter sometimes. Ninth house is Jupiter, and there can be that tendency, like, I don't know of all the water signs, because cups are water, if this connects with Pisces. Pisces' ancient ruler is Jupiter, or was Jupiter. So there is, if you think about Pisces, there's always like that excess that we associate with Pisces too. And Neptune, you know, the addiction, and Pisces, the sign, or Jupiter, the excess. So that, but even just like on that kind of enjoying life to the fullest thing, if you want to look at it that way, I associate Pisces that way. Of all the water signs, Pisces is the most carefree. I don't know if some of you would agree with that, but I do. I think that that's true. And so there could be, maybe there is a Pisces person in your life for some reason. And I hope that, you know, I said Libra at the beginning because by accident I said Gemini the first time, and I've already put out that video. So hopefully, you know, I will label it properly, and if I made the same mistake twice, you'll know that I already know that, and I know this is Libra. So something maybe that you wanted will come to pass in the period of the eclipse and beyond. I mean, the eclipse officially is on the date of the 27th or 28th. We're talking about the lunar eclipse in Aquarius, depending on where you live. Now, this is going to be in your 5th house of romance, Libra. So I wonder if it's somebody that you have really had a strong desire to get to know better. Maybe you had your dream come true. Somebody you've been dating has asked you to move in with them, or asked you to, you know, get married or something like that, because the lunar eclipses are, in essence, very powerful full moons. So anything that we associate with the full moon and the fifth house, which, by the way, it can be maybe ending a relationship very abruptly. That could happen too. But the other side of it is that you could decide to elope even. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if that's taking it too far, but in my estimation, this card could indicate, like, if you're dating someone, and it's almost like an impulsive thing, because we're talking about fate more than the typical new and full moons where there's more intention behind it. When you're talking about eclipses, it's like this is coming into your reality, this is being taken away. Or these are the new seeds and the developments that will, are being planted and will be harvested, and these are the new manifestations. The full moon can be the manifestations of whatever it is that you planted seeds for earlier on. So you may have like a harvest that you didn't even expect when it comes to love. And let's look at the bottom card first here, because this is the foundation of the reading. The Tower card, number 16. I'm actually recording this on July 16th, so there's that connection. And that feeling of anything can happen at any time. A sudden event. But because the Nine of Cups is such a positive card, I don't see that the Tower card is as ominous as we typically see it. It might be like falling in love at first sight. And it's like, automatically. You may even be like in your 40s or in your 50s, and you may have been divorced, so you've been around the block a few times, and you never really felt love, and then all of a sudden you found the one. And I don't think you have to be a hopeless romantic to believe that that's possible. I think that it's entirely possible. It's, it seems absurd to me that people think you can only fall in love with when you're in your 20s or something. That's ridiculous. You can fall in love at any time. And so that could be one possibility for you. And just in general, the Tower card is about kind of like a release. Even if there's like this tension that's built up and some catalyst that kind of breaks the stalemate, breaks the air, and then suddenly everything is out in the open. If you've been in a relationship with somebody where it's been phony, where you've been kind of going through the motions, and this could be in the workplace for sure, where you've just pretended, you've been mailing it in, pretending that you care, and something comes. It's funny, even if the worst case scenario was losing a person losing their job, if they are unhappy at that job, it's not a bad thing. Yeah, you do have to find out, how you're going to pay your bills if you don't have savings, but other than that, it can be a wonderful get out of jail free card, because you are imprisoned when you're doing something that you don't want to be doing. And using money as an excuse really only goes so far, because it's like, yeah, I got to keep my body alive. Well, yeah, I guess, but there might be other ways you can do it without feeling so resistant to wherever it is that you're working. What crosses you is the Daughter of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. And this is, pages can be messages, and wands are fire. So this could be related to the Mercury retrograde that is happening. I thought it was on the 25th, and then I heard another astrologer who said it was on the 26th. I don't know if they were going by a London time or something, but in any case, in my neck of the woods, it's on the 25th. Let's put it that way, okay? And this is going to be in Leo, and that's a fire sign. So the point being that there is this situation that may arise. Maybe you hear from somebody from your past who is coming into the picture again, and you're like, oh gosh, it's not going to be a good thing, because this person might be kind of detracting from some of the blessings that you've had lately. And, you know, with the Tower card, you may decide to quit. You know, it could be like a situation where for some people, they get fired, and then the boss says, oh, I'm sorry, would you come back? You know, and a Libra person might actually think twice about it if they got fired and then they wanted to come back, because they want to resolve the situation. They want to be the peacemaker. And so that message might be something that you don't want to hear, because you're finally like, oh, thank God I'm free. And actually, at least if you live in the United States, if you get fired, you can file for unemployment. If you quit, you can't. So you might be thinking, good, now I have, you know, now I have an excuse to you know, get unemployment. I don't mean it like in that way. I don't mean like you did it on purpose. But I mean there's something in it for you, because then you can have the space to try to figure out what your next move is. And it's like they were the ones who kind of opened the door to the prison cell and let you out. And they didn't even know it, and now they're trying to get you back in there. So that could be a possibility too. But if you've been free of a relationship that has been really kind of dragging you down, then the answer is to, you know, stand your ground. Don't allow someone to come back into the picture. What's that expression? Crawl back into your life or something like that, because maybe they're trying to woo you and they're saying all the right things. There was a reason that it ended, and don't get caught up in all of the sweet talk, in other words. The higher message is I guess it's the Seven of Cups. I always have to be very careful. Yeah, Seven of Cups in reverse. And this kind of reminds me of Neptune in reverse. You know, retrograde. Neptune retrograde. Let me think if there's any, because this card connects to Neptune, so this might be a Neptune retrograde thingy happening. Let me think. Neptune is in Pisces. I think that would be your 6th house, wouldn't it? Yeah. So, yeah. that's perfect. If this is a work situation, if it's in your 6th house of work, where you like the curtain is being pulled back, and you're seeing that the workplace for what it is, and this could include people that you work with, that you see that they have been deceptive, and maybe you idealize the situation, and now you see the light. The Tower card can mean, it doesn't have to mean you're fired. It could mean that something came out, a secret came out that exposed something. And this is the spiritual message, the Seven of Cups in reverse. Usually, this card in the upright position can mean that somebody is confused, and they're kind of like relying on wishful thinking to get through life. They're kind of in their fantasy land. But this is kind of the opposite of that, and I just wanted to, because I know it's connected to Neptune, I wanted to see if it had any connection to your work situation, and it did. Now, the other thing too is that if this is a Pisces person, this would also be about that, of like really seeing the person. If they have an addiction, this is a big thing for this card in the upright position, is addictions. Neptune reference the muddled thinking, the kind of wishful thinking, living in a fantasy world, is all influenced by Neptune. And that can indicate that you are seeing things as they really are, and it's allowing you to move forward in your life. Whereas before, you were kind of still in that la la land. But I feel like with the Nine of Cups, you're getting something that you had hoped for. So whether you left a job and found another one that was much more suitable, or whether you just wanted time off, or whether you have been trying to get out of a relationship but you didn't know how, and now you have the perfect excuse, that's what it all seems to mean to me. The practical advice is represented by the Four of Cups. This is one of the creepiest of these cards. I kind of enjoyed that creepy vibe that it provides for whatever reason. Oh gosh, it makes me shiver a little bit. But the Four of Cups is a card of a sense of dissatisfaction in life. And as advice, I think, Libra, it's always asking you to tune into your feelings, which is not easy for you to do because you're mentally, I wasn't going to say incompetent or anything like that, but you're connected to your mind very much so. This is how you engage with life, is through the mental realms, the intellectual side of things. So if you have an experience, your first impulse is to analyze it, to look at every angle, especially as a Libra, like a judge looks at all sides. You're very good at this. You're very good at being able to be fair about situations. But it can stay in that mental realm where you're constantly analyzing it, categorizing it, labeling it, labeling the other person, labeling yourself in terms of, well, he has bipolar, or I have anxiety disorder, or I'm a Libra sun, you know, Cancer moon, Mercury rising, Gemini rising, and this is why, blah, blah, blah. And that's funny for me to say that. But what I'm saying is hiding behind labels and abstractions. Instead of just feeling raw feelings. The Four of Cups is going to be a raw feeling. It's going to be a feeling of discontent. And it's funny, I wonder if that's why they chose a mouse. I was going to say the gnawing feeling in the pit of your stomach that you're not with the right person, that you're not on the right track, you're not at the right company. That gnawing feeling that can express itself with simple disinterest. I was going to say lack of energy. What is that word that means lack of energy? I can't think of it, but just something where you're not passionate, you're going through the motions, just being discontented by the situation. That can be the Four of Cups. And the reason this is important to really be in tune with that is that otherwise you can convince yourself otherwise. You can intellectualize yourself into acceptance of something that is not right. And that would be sad because you deserve happiness, Libra. And you deserve the kind of happiness that you don't have to work too hard to obtain. That's just there, you know, with another person or with your employer. Because you tend to be a very agreeable person and you deserve the same in your partner. What's coming in is represented by the Ace of Wands. So this is a card about not being able to get the party started. And this is simply, I think, a timing issue. The Ace of Wands is a really great, passionate new beginning that makes you energized for your life, which is the opposite of the Four of Cups. Makes you jazzed up. So whether it's a new job, a new relationship, that Nine of Cups may mean that somebody told you that they had feelings for you, and it was the person you hoped would do so. But something is holding it up. If you're married, well, duh, you know, you're trying to deal with that first. But that feeling of absolute new beginnings, you know, I think when I think of the Ace of Wands, I think of spring, you know, the vernal equinox. And, you know, the beginning of the astrological year in Aries. And I don't know if the Ace of Wands corresponds with Aries. It should, but I get that feeling that comes in the spring when everything is just starting out new. And you'll have that time. You do have in August, actually, you're going to be having your annual hibernation period begin the month before your birthday, where the sun will be in your 12th house. Now, obviously, if you're watching this for your sun sign, which a lot of people probably are, that it's not going to translate for your natal chart, because you know your natal position could be anything, and your sign could be anything, and then that would totally change things. But whatever's going on, I think you're waiting for that green light. And you'll get it. You'll get there. But first things first, you know. And the outcome is a Wheel of Fortune. Wow. That sense of alignment, that sense of things going your way. Interesting. Jupiter connects to this card. Jupiter connects to the Nine of Cups, if I'm not mistaken. So we do have this influence. Maybe we're talking about when Jupiter changes signs in November into Sagittarius, which is a friendly angle to you, a sextile, Libra. Maybe that's when all the real action begins, and until then, it's all about cleaning up any messy situations, especially those that may have been kind of, is catalyzed a word? A catalyst formed during the eclipses, and more than one eclipse. We're having an eclipse in August and a solar eclipse in Leo. So the aftermath of these eclipses is change. And the change can be very thrilling, even if you didn't instigate it. Because it may come as a relief. It may come as something that you've wanted to do, but you couldn't find it within yourself. You didn't have the guts to do it for whatever reason. Okay, well, that's what I have for you. Enjoy the alignment that the Wheel of Fortune provides, because with the Nine of Cups, it really speaks to making your dreams come true, and in general feeling like you've clicked into something, you're in a groove when it comes to good fortune, Libra. So if you would like a personal reading, I do offer many different types of readings. You can find out more about my services by clicking the link below this video. I wish you a great end of July. Yeah, that's the ticket. Take care, Libra. Bye.